While Beijing has relieved some of the pressure that's driving the nationwide protest movement in China, its surveillance state continues gathering information on those who stood up to the government's lockdowns.
And I cannot underscore this enough, how much bravery it requires for Chinese people to take to the streets.
This week's protests are being called the biggest wave of civil disobedience since the 1989 Tiananmen protests.
At the same time, they want to relieve the pressure that's driving these protests that really could spin out of control.
Wednesday, the government announced it's easing some COVID-19 restrictions where traffic and indoor dining resumed and shopping malls reopened. But during the protests, the surveillance state was keeping a close eye on potential dissidents.
The Chinese Communist Party is notorious for using technology to expedite its undermining of freedom and human rights in China.
The Chinese government seeks to identify the protesters even as video of the demonstrations spread throughout the country.
The gathering information is continued by Beijing. But you're right, the leaking of these Telegram and Instagram and WeChat kind of videos are spreading, and therefore information is permeating China. And I think this is why it's a threat to the CCP.
One particular application that would mark activities as suspicious that were as innocuous as exiting out your back door rather than your front door. Those types of suspicions could be grounds for being sent to these political re-education camps.
China's communist government has long prepared for protests by building up its security forces. Now that government is even stronger with the new power of its surveillance and censorship technology. Brody, CBN News.